All right, here we go. All right, today's date is December 1st, 2021. In Baylor County, Texas, I call cause number 11644 in the interest of the Chandler children. What says the state?
Ready, Your Honor.
Present by audio and video is Sarah Chandler. Are you ready to proceed, Ms. Chandler?
Yes, I'm ready.
Thank you. The court's file reflects that Zachary Stoddard was served with notice of these proceedings back on May 13th of 2021. Information provided to the court indicates that Mr. Stoddard is currently incarcerated and he's not participating in today's hearing. All right, you may call your first witness, Ms. Kuntz.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Sarah Chandler.
Ms. Chandler, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, go ahead, Ms. Kuntz.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Sarah Ruth Chandler.
And what are the full names of your children on this case?
Heaven Marie Ruth Chandler and Scarlett Leanne Chandler.
Okay, and what is Heaven's date of birth?
May 11th of 2017.
What is Scarlett's date of birth?
August 8th of 2018.
Okay. Were you and Mr. Stoddard together when Heaven was born?
Yes, we were.
Okay. And did the two of you both live in the same home with Heaven at that time?
No, we didn't live together right after she was born. It was a couple of months after, but
Okay.
we did live together for a couple of months. Yes.
Okay. And when did you and Mr. Stoddard separate?
In April of 2019 or 2018. My bad.
Okay. So just before your first child turned 1?
Yes.
Okay. In Your Honor, I apologize. I should have done this before, but I asked that the court take judicial notice of the DNA results that were filed for this matter October the 22nd of 2021.
All right, I take judicial notice of the contents of the court's file, especially the DNA test results that indicate, in fact, that Mr. Stoddard is the legal or cannot be excluded as the biological father of both girls.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Chandler, has there been a history of physical violence towards you from Mr. Stoddard?
Yes.
Okay. And did he has he physically abused you in front of Heaven when she was younger?
Yes.
Do you know about when that was?
That will be around September, October of 2017.
Okay. And does Mr. Stoddard also have some other history in addition to the family violence that's concerning to you?
Yes.
Can you tell the court a little bit about that history?
He just, when he gets real upset and angry, he just loses control. And I'm afraid, since he's already laid hands on me in front of my daughter, I'm afraid that if he'll start doing the same to them.
Okay. Does Mr. Stoddard have a history of being in and out of incarceration?
Yes, he does.
Um, does Mr. Stoddard use drugs to your knowledge?
Yes.
What type of drugs have you known Mr. Stoddard to use?
Methamphetamines.
Okay. Are you asking that the court order a non-disclosure finding to keep your address and identifying information as well as the children's information out of the court order?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have concerns that if Mr. Stoddard were granted conservatorship rights or court-ordered visitation, that would potentially endanger the children's physical or emotional well-being?
Yes.
Okay. And has you separated in April 2018, is that correct?
Yes.
Since your separation, when has Mr. Stoddard seen the children?
From that point, it was probably after Heaven turned 1, and he did come to me to see them along with he wasn't with anyone. It was probably like 2 months after her first birthday that he saw them.
Okay. And was that so around about October 2019?
Yes, because I just had Scarlett about that time. Hmm.
Okay. Is that the and I apologize, I may have you said you just had Scarlett?
Yes.
Okay, so would this have
her-
been
Hmm.
August of 2018?
Yes.
Okay. Because Scarlett was born August 2018. Is that when you recall him
Yeah.
seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
When
Is that the only time he's seen either of the children since your separation?
yes, and then up till when Scarlett turned about a year old.
Okay. So sometime not long after Scarlett was born, he saw the children, and then he saw the children again around the time Scarlett turned 1.
Yes.
Okay, and those are the only 2 times he's seen the children since your separation in April of 2018. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you wanting the court to consider whether Mr. Stoddard could be ordered to pay any retroactive or back support for the children?
Yes.
Okay. And it appears that did Mr. Stoddard go to TCJ in July of this year?
I'm not real for sure, honestly. I think so.
Okay. And are you aware since your separation of any periods of incarceration for a sentence greater than 90 days prior to July 2021?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. And does he have any physical or mental disabilities that prevent him from being able to work a minimum wage full-time job?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Do you happen to know what charges he was convicted of, Ms. Chandler?
I'm
Steve,
not
turn that phone off. That's me. Go ahead.
I'm not real for sure, but I know when all this was getting situated, there was an email attached to the one that y'all sent me the first time saying something about a firearm, I think. But that's really the only thing that I know that I
Okay.
am.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Coons.
And what health insurance is currently available for the children?
Superior Health, Medicaid.
Okay. And you understand that right now, while he's incarcerated, there's not an income presumption for us to use as far as setting current child support for Mr. Stoddard.
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware of him having any actual income in spite of his incarceration?
No. Any job that he did get, it was never like an actual pay cash. It was always he always got a paycheck on the days that he worked, and it was never really a steady job. Like, he'll decide to work if he felt like working that day, then he'll work that day, but then like the next day, or if he felt like it, he would work or not. He made the decision of rather to work or not. But it was never a job where he put an application in or stuff like that.
He worked day labor.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know if Mr. Stoddard has any other minor children besides the two he has with you?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. In Ms. Chandler, I apologize. We didn't look at this calculation before, but I will do a calculation as far as retroactive support based on a minimum wage presumption. And we'll ask you if you are requesting that the court order a judgment against Mr. Stoddard for the amount that I calculate in just one moment.
It would be for the back child support during the time that he was not incarcerated.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Chandler, do you have any family there near Baylor County?
Yes, I do.
And who would that be?
My parents, my brother, my sister, and my grandparents.
Okay, great.
All of my family, really.
So you've got some support there. Good.
Yes.
Emotional and support. Good. All right, Ms. Koontz, is there anything further?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Chandler, the amount I calculate for retroactive support for the period from April 2018 through June 2021 is $10,887. Are you asking that the court order a judgment against Mr. Stoddard for retroactive support in that amount?
Yes.
And you believe that would be in your children's best interest?
Yes.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Ms. Chandler, do you want the children to carry the last name Chandler, or do you want them to carry the last name Stoddard?
Chandler.
All right. And that's how they're known now. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else you want to tell me that hasn't come up through the question and answer?
Nothing that I'm aware of right now.
All right. Based on the evidence, well, Ms. Koontz, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we are requesting that a judgment for retroactive support be entered against Mr. Stoddard in the amount of $10,887, and we ask the court to set a payment plan on that balance. We ask that paternity, of course, be established and the court make a determination as far as the conservatorship and possession and access based on the testimony given by Ms. Chandler. Since he is incarcerated on a sentence greater than 90 days, we're not asking that he be ordered to pay any current support, but that Ms. Chandler be ordered to apply for a government health plan for the children and the parties to be responsible 50-50 for any out-of-pocket medical expenses that are necessary for the children.
All right. Well, based on the testimony and evidence, then I do find that Zachary Stoddard is the legal and biological father of Heaven and Scarlett, in order that the parent-child relationship is established for all purposes. I'm appointing Ms. Chandler as a sole managing conservator and Mr. Stoddard as a possessory conservator of the children, and ordering that Mr. Stoddard would have visitation on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. with some adult supervising, and that adult is to be selected by Ms. Chandler. It can be any of your relatives or anyone that the girls are familiar with and would feel comfortable with. And I'm ordering that Mr. Stoddard give Ms. Chandler at least 48 hours notice of his intent to exercise visitation. Ms. Chandler, I do not want you to be the person supervising. I think that would put you in an unnecessarily dangerous position. And I'd rather you choose someone else that the girls have been around to do that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm granting the request for retroactive child support to be paid at $150 per month, starting, let's start January 1st of 2022. I decline to order current support because Mr. Stoddard is in fact incarcerated. I am ordering Ms. Chandler to continue to provide Medicaid for the girls as long as it's available, and for each parent to pay half of any medical expenses not covered by the Medicaid. I'm not ordering Mr. Stoddard to pay anything toward the Medicaid premium. I'm waiving court costs in this matter. Is there any other relief I need to address, Ms. Coombs?
Your Honor, we request a ruling on the determination as to disclosure of Ms. Chandler's.
I'm granting the non-disclosure. And Ms. Chandler, that means that your address and phone number will not appear in the court file. You can give a contact number for Mr. Stoddard that is someone that would relay that message to you, your parents, any family members, a friend, something like that, so that there is a phone number in the order, but it's not yours. All right?
Okay.
Someone you trust to give you any message that he may want to send to you. And that person then would be your contact as well if there would be any emergency with the children. All right, is there any other relief I need to address?
Your Honor, regarding the visitation, is there an alternate location we can put for that since Ms. Chandler's information will not be in the court order?
All right, let me think of, are you in, well, let me think about the county seat. There is a, goodness, Ms. Chandler, is there a convenience store or a discount store someplace there? I'm looking at Seymour because it's the county seat that would be convenient and offer shelter, and in the case of rain or a parent's home or something like that where visitation could occur.
Uh, he can come to my job. I work at Dairy Queen.
I don't want to release that information of where you work. Although that might be acceptable later on if you decide that. I'm going to let Ms. Chandler choose a location.
Uh,
I'm trying to think of what's there in Seymour. There is a
You can do it at
Subway, isn't there?
the chicken place. Dollar store.
Trying to think real quick.
Someplace that might have a table or two inside, and that the girls could get a drink if they were thirsty, or if they had to wait for a few minutes.
Okay. Chicken Express.
Okay. Let's designate the Chicken Express in Seymour, Texas as the place for the exchange or the visitation to occur for now, but we'll put in a sentence that allows Ms. Chandler to designate a place for the visitation, okay? So you can choose a place, Ms. Chandler, if Chicken Express isn't
Okay.
a location later, okay?
Okay.
And what will happen is Ms. Kuntz will prepare that order for me, for my signature. I will sign off on it. There is a period of 3 business days during which you or Mr. Stoddard could request a new hearing. If somebody does that, you get a new hearing in front of the district judge, and they would start over and hear from you again and make their own decision. But if nobody does that, this order starts to become final, and you should get a copy by email or by regular mail within about 2 weeks. If you don't get one, call the AG's office in Wichita Falls and remind them to send one to you. And after Mr. Stoddard is released from TDCJ, the AG will probably come back to court to get the child support started. So they will monitor his release and hopefully get you coming back to court at an appropriate time. All right.
All right.
Thank you, good Miss Chandler. Good luck to you and the girls.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm turning
you.
off the recording.